Welcome to Grinding Meaning number 25. Apolitical, Ideological Possession, and FreeJam, the developers of Robocraft. I had an interesting interaction with, let's say, a zealot for the developers, and this was back in January. I didn't really want, I'm not into the drama thing, so I kind of wanted to sit on this for a while. But it's not often that you get to see essentially an ideologically possessed person outside of a political context. So I wanted to examine this. And that is what we shall do. Where? Oh. Okay. This is in response to a video, a short video I made. It was only like 3 minutes long. I suppose I could play it for the stream, but I don't know. That seems lazy. Well, I just did a little thought experiment. And right at the beginning, I'm like, the idea of like, it's a game that basically was awesome, and then they just slowly started taking the awesome out of it and homogenizing everything. Because the great thing about the game was that you could, in certain card games, like, the bigger part of the game is building your deck. But in this, the bigger part of the game was designing your vehicles, and you had an immense amount of freedom. And if you could, you could basically design past your lack of skill in piloting, although I thought I was pretty good. And, but, like, eventually they just made the game unplayable, and then they abandoned it. But not before introducing a bunch of, like, sleazy stuff. But that's not what this is. The video was about. The video was like, okay, is Robocraft Classic, is it even possible? And... okay, looks good. Sorry, just checking something. And my answer to that was no. But if it were possible, how would you make that happen? And it was just kind of a way of, I referenced a few books and kind of some ideas from those books of how you make stuff happen. And you make it in their own best interest. It wasn't a serious video. It wasn't like a call to action. But somebody, how shall I put this? Took great exception to someone even considering the possibility. And I wish I had made this a little bigger. So this is Mr. Rotor. And I am going to make this bigger. Let's move it up. Up. One more. Okay. And it's not often that you can hear upspeak in text, but it's right here. Hey dude, just so you know, like, it's just that I don't know if you're qualified on the Robocraft Classic subject. I got no idea why you ping Steve Makerspace in your video title. By the way, he's never played Robocraft or worked on it. Like, he was just interviewing Mark in an interview that originally had nothing to do with Robocraft, just so you know. I randomly stumbled upon your video while casually reading comments on Steam. Like, it's like, how could you take someone seriously who, like, speaks like that? But that's not even what this is about. And, you know, I responded with, hey, oh, I need to click on that. Then this was right when they started the tagging system, and it was kind of overpowered. And it said, you know, a tagging recommendation system on YouTube is very convoluted. I'll just say that the vast majority of views came from Steve's video because I tagged him. I would later find out that wasn't necessarily the case, but that was one of the impression I was at the time. And also, just do you know, FreeJam cannot afford to cancel their current projects. There's a team of less than 15, and recently the art director, if you ever, he just goes into a bunch of crap I don't care about. They can't really afford to throw away the code they've been working on for the last 2 years. The best you can do is participate to or support the development of their new projects to become the way you want Robocraft 2 to be. Oh, I didn't grab it. There was I want to say it was like not even a week later. They canceled this thing that he was talking about. And I was going to make a video, but I thought better of it. And I had like that laughing guy meme, you know, the oh no, no, no guy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not that kind of channel. And I don't know if you're interested, or I don't know if you've read, but their current project aims at succeeding in the spirit to the old Robocraft concept that was far more focused on build drive with less fighting and more physics gameplay. And it gives me like links. And I looked at these at the time, and it's just like, it looks like something an individual would be working on, not like a development team. These are footage of the game that they worked on previously to Robocraft, what Robocraft was meant to be at the very first, and they intend to recreate with their new project, and it doesn't. As I recall, it didn't look anything like that. I suppose I should have refreshed my memory on this stuff, but that's not really what this is about. I'm saying new project and not Gamecraft because it's about to change name and have lots of visual changes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the game that Gamecraft was like canceled shortly after this. This is a very, very brief explanation, but TLDR, it seems like you really didn't inform yourself on FreeJam state before you did your video. What you're proposing is completely unrealistic considering FreeJam's current state. And this is usually a good way to shut things down. It's like, how far are we into this tirade that's not really about me? The TLDR? It's all about your vid, not you directly. You're having an argument with someone, but it's clearly not me. It is. I'm just explaining why your proposition in the video of Kickstarter for Robocraft Classic is unrealistic and won't happen. And this is a common tactic to mischaracterize what someone was saying to try to trigger them, and then you're arguing about that, and they've got their little slice of drama. He said, it appears you missed the first 10 seconds of the video, where my answer to the question, could it happen, was no. And here's the point where someone should be like, oh shoot, I didn't, you know, my bad, man. And then they basically kind of like shuffle off, or, you know, be like, you know, okay. But it's like, he says, okay, my bad. Then I completely missed the point of the video. What's the point? And this is lip service, and you'll find out later, because he's just like regrouping. A thought experiment. I do a lot of those. How do we make it worth their while to give us what we want? By the way, you're not saying it's impossible in your description. Although extremely unlikely, I still hold a naive hope. And calling yourself naive for thinking it might happen, that's not like that's not a statement of certainty or even anything remotely. Just saying, it's not just unlikely, it simply won't ever happen the way you described it. Just so you know. Because I don't know, I feel like you've been missing some infos on their latest projects. And it's like, why would I care about what they're doing now? And why would I? Well, if you want to do a rigorous thought experiment, you have to take it into account. I'm like, well, not if it's off topic. It ain't. Because it has to do with if this is plausible or not. I think I clearly established that it's not plausible. You notice how he's like back to where he was before he made an ass of himself? I mean, really, what I conclude from this video is nothing Robocraft or FreeJam related. Okay, I thought I misread that, but I didn't. It's only, if you want a company to accomplish a fan base's project, don't force them to do so, and encourage them to do a Kickstarter. Again, you know, the word Kickstarter did not come up anywhere. In fact, my idea was to have them do it on their own site, if I remember right. Maybe I will play the 3-minute video. I'm like, who makes a case for something that's not in dispute? He keeps trying to push me into the role that I'm saying we need to have Robocraft Classic and this is how we're going to do it. And he can't move off that. He needs me in that role. But, you know, he gives me the laughing and it's like, as if it wasn't a dispute. Go check Steam and you'll see how many people are still asking for FreeJam to work back on Robocraft or to make Robocraft 2. Like the amount of irrelevant comments that are completely not informed of the situation. I said, nobody really thinks the game is coming back. It's just nostalgia jerking. It's absurdly large relative to the ones that are informed. People want to be angry about stuff. FreeJam is a soft target. And I think, yeah, that was the end of the interaction. Yeah, he didn't really want to come back to that because he just wasn't able to put me in the role that he wanted me to be in. But like, I'm gonna guess he's either some kind. I don't think he's actually a developer. I think he's a marketing guy. And that's basically, from what I could tell, that's what FreeJam does. There are companies that make their money selling games, you know, making and selling games. And there are companies that make their money, how you say, acquiring, basically going around and telling people how awesome this game they're going to make is, and then basically surviving on the investor money. And when they keep hopping projects without finishing them, that's a good sign. And from what I can recall, that FreeJam does that a lot. I should look up live on stream and see what they're up to right now, but like, I don't know. But what was really interesting is how he is all in. He is like a complete zealot for this. He has this, it's, well, you might say it's not technically ideological possession. It's like he's acting just like a political activist who, oh my God, somebody's wrong on the internet. And he's basically been looking around like, oh my God, there are people that don't think like me. I have to correct this. And I'm the informed one. And everybody who disagrees with me is the uninformed one. And it's like you try to be civil and you try to have a productive conversation, and they just try to keep shoehorning you into this role that they need you to be in because they need to be mad at people. So he probably, like you said, he was on Steam. He's probably on Reddit. He's just going around like trying to do damage control for like basically the shittiness of FreeJam. And I really don't feel like being charitable anymore. I mean, and the weird thing is he presents himself as this ultimate authority without ever explaining why he has this authority or where he's getting his information, because it couldn't have been too good, because it was just a few days later they canceled the thing that he told me they couldn't work on Robocraft Classic because they were working on this thing now, and then this thing got canceled like less than a week later. So he couldn't have been too far on the inside. So I don't know. I was kind of hoping to extrapolate out, like when you see, it doesn't matter what ideology they're promoting. This, even though you won't see upspeak in a whole lot of areas, if you remove the upspeak, it's basically the ideological zealot going out and finding people to fight with. And it's really not worth engaging with him. I probably wouldn't have if I wasn't fascinated by just his peculiarity. And he left that up. He did that on my general Steam, or what do you call it, Discord. And he left it up. He never removed it, so I feel it's safe to use. Like, he seems to have he stood behind it. I did at one time try to figure out what association he might have with FreeJam, and I really wasn't able. It's probably a sock puppet account from one of the marketing people, or whatever you call the people that go out and try to convince people with money that they should give you money so you can make this thing. You know, maybe I will. Maybe I will take a quick look and see what FreeJam is up to now. Wow. It's a little over the top. It's like just the Facebook is the thing that came up on the right bar. FreeJam is a totally independent development studio, and that's like in bold. We are free to design, build, and publish our own original games. We give players the power to express themselves and share their creativity. Our community continues to surprise us every day. Yeah, that's ooh, Twitter. They're doing something called Tech Box now. Well, I think that might still be that might have been the thing they dropped, the whatever that thing was that he was saying. But wow, this is lame. This is the same stuff. Sorry. I'm wondering if there's anything interesting here. Now this is not. This is not impressive. And this was their last tweet. And it really didn't get a whole lot of interaction, probably because it looks like a late 90s, early 2000s driving simulator. Huh. Oh, shoot. You can't see that. Let me switch. Is it this? Yeah. And those retweets and likes most likely came from sock puppet accounts. Like, even I have had like freaking tweets that have gotten, I don't know, close to 100 likes. But this is just kind of embarrassing. Well, that's really all I wanted to get through. I'm back after being laid off for a few months. We're working, they bring us back and immediately go to 12-hour shifts. We're probably going to work in 7 days this week, and you got to feed the algorithm. So that's what I'm here to do. And now that I've done it, I think I am going to bail and feed myself and go to bed because I have to work at 5:30 in the morning. So I am the expert layman. It has been Grinding Meeting 25, Apolitical Ideological Possession. You all have a great day.